Good evening, guys. Welcome to Danny's Diary. Unfortunately, today there'll be no walkabout. It is bucketing down rain here in Ireland. I'm just out after Thurles, and Mila will be disappointed she's not getting a walk this evening, but doesn't like the rain anyway. So that leads us on to Leopardstown, what the conditions are going to be like over the weekend. You know, the floods there earlier in the week, they cleared pretty quickly, and I would foresee no issues with racing going ahead. The drainage that they've put in the past in Leopardstown created its own problems when watering was needed all the way through the winter. But come conditions like that, it definitely puts us in a position where there should be no issue about the Dublin Racing Festival going ahead. There's plenty of rain to come in tonight in Ireland, and I think by Saturday morning it's all to have cleared. A better day Friday, less rain. I think only 7 mils on Friday, so the drainage will be in full flow up there to make sure all the water's off the track, and I think it should be a good weekend's racing. You know, Leopardstown has no boggy soil, so while it'll be tough conditions, there's a base to all of that, and that should make it a fair playing field. Like Gorham Park last week, you know, it'll be tactical racing. In Ireland, we race that way anyway. I think the International Hurdle was probably the first race in England where I'd seen tough conditions, and Conor O'Farrell made the running on the Mean Lion and set slow fractions, which meant that nobody had a hard race. And actually for him it was a very clever race on the Mean Lion, maybe a 33 or 50 to 1 shot that was in with a winning chance down to the last, and we tend to do that a lot more in Ireland, so I don't think there'll be any issue for the weekend. Looking at my rides, my first ride on Saturday is Sysko. Was a bit disappointing at Christmas after a great run, went fourth behind Let Us in Nace in that handicap hurdle. Everything around him came out and won, and yeah, if he gets back to that form, I think the way some of Willie's horses ran at Christmas, you could draw a line through that run. And if we're back on the Nace run, Sysko is a lively each way contender at a massive price. My next ride is Spindleberry in the Irish Gold Cup, rated 154. Factor in the £7 mare's allowance to that, brings her to 161, which is probably still a long way off the likes of Gallop and the Champ, Gaelic Warrior, Factor File, but she's the one in the field that is open to a huge amount of improvement. The potential is really there. A lot of these are proven types. Gallopin is going to improve from his first run at Christmas. Gaelic Warrior is a solid yardstick and seems to be staying a trip fairly well. Just touched off in the King George. Factor File disappointed in the King George, but if he bounces back to his run in the John Durkin, he'd have a chance. Affordale Fury obviously won at Christmas. It's going to be a tougher race on his plate this time, but deserves his crack at it. I know the way you're thinking. Needs to bounce back to himself, but look at Spillane Tower. He came back into the picture for the big races, and Spindleberry is there, hopefully going to improve. You have another 6 horses that are all grade 1 winners and grade 1 performers after that, so the Irish Gold Cup is definitely going to be one of the best races run over the weekend. Hopefully Spindleberry can come out on top for me. Leopardstown advice for punters. First bit of advice: the racing is very good. It comes thick and fast. Get a good night's sleep Friday night. Arrive into the track early. You know, you want to get your pitch, go in there, get yourself some food, get some drinks, whatever you might want to do, because once the racing gets going, you don't want to miss a minute's action. The atmosphere is going to be fantastic, and for English punters especially, move around, move from the parade ring to the front of the stands. There's no enclosures in Irish racing like there is at most races in the UK, so that freedom that English punters experience at the Dublin Racing Festival in Leopardstown is going to be something you want to really soak up.